going on, everyone? So D'Angelo Russell looks to be back, right? Little rocky to start the season, the first 3 games, but the last 2 games he has been fantastic. Now, in those other 3 games, he did have like little spurts. D'Lo, for whatever reason, that third or fourth quarter, he almost always, or more times than not, has like a little spurt where he'll get like 6 to 8 points, and you see that like constantly throughout games, but the lack of consistency those first 3 games were a big issue, and him just failing to hit shots. But the last 2 games against the Orlando Magic and then last night against the Los Angeles Clippers, you really see him starting to get in his rhythm, get into his flow. Orlando game, he gives you 28 points. The game against the Clippers, he gave you 27 points and was huge in that game throughout the course of that game, and especially down the stretch, hitting some clutch free throws, and is a very valuable, important piece for the Lakers this year, right? I know that there's a lot of conversation and narrative of the Lakers potentially trading D'Angelo Russell, and that still very well may be the case. We will see. Time will tell. I think there really is only 2 real ways that they end up trading D'Lo. I think one, it's something that makes more sense, not only now, but long-term, right? Say like a Trae Young or something. I'm not saying that they should trade for Trae Young, but just a name that came to mind where it's like, okay, he's young enough to where he can have a real impact now, but also be like a second star post LeBron James, something like that. Again, just an example. Or I think it's something that like makes more sense to just go all in and push your chips to the table, right? Think of like a Kyrie Irving if he becomes available, right? Something like that where they go, well, Kyrie, yeah, he could help a bit now and long term, but this is more of a move to like, hey, let's get it right now because who knows what Kyrie looks like post LeBron departure. But regardless, I need D'Angelo Russell to continue to play to the level that which we know he can play and the way he has played so far, especially the last 2 games. Now, I don't expect him to go and average 27.5 points a game. That is a little unrealistic, especially as like the third option, especially as hopefully Austin Reeves starts to emerge. Austin Reeves starts coming back into his own. Rui Hachimura hopefully chips in, seeing Christian Wood coming along. Plus you have those games where Taurean Prince. Now hopefully Gabe Vincent can start knocking down some shots, right? Once everyone's healthy, once everything's clicking, I don't think D'Lo will be a 25-point-a-game guy. Is he capable of it? Sure. I mean, he had seasons in which he averaged, 23, but he was like the main option or one of the big focal points, right? That year with Golden State, he averaged 23.6. And then that year in Brooklyn, right? Where, again, he was kind of the main option. Steph was out, things like that. But when you look at this season, through 5 games, he's averaging 36.5 minutes per game. He's shooting 47.3% from the field, which I expect to get to around, 50% once we move throughout the course of the season, or at least a little higher. Just because, right, he's shooting 47% from the field right now, but that's because of the average over all 5 games, right? And he struggled mightily as far as like efficiency-wise during the first 3 games, right? He gave you some points. He put the ball in the hoop on occasion, but it wasn't these like scoring output that we saw in these last 2 games where he was super efficient, super effective, and really kind of led the charge offensively, where even the 3-point percentage, right now he's shooting 33.3%. Again, he's too good of a shooter throughout the course of his career. He's not going to shoot 33% on the season. Had some rough games early on. He'll bounce back. His 2-point percentage is actually where I expect it to be, around 56.8%, and then an EFG of 54.1. I expect that EFG to get to around, 57 to 58, which is where he's been the last few years. And he's back to knocking down free throws, which is huge. Right now, he's shooting just a hair shy of 90% from the free throw line. That, again, is important because last season with the Lakers, he really struggled shooting free throws. He was 73.5% for the Lakers, which isn't great, right? And so far, he is averaging 19.4 points, which is where I'd like to see him over the year, right? Give me like a 17 to 19 point a game, maybe 20. That would be nice. Average, again, it's average. So you have the games where he scores 25, you have the games where he scores, 15 or whatever, and it kind of just averages out to around 19 or 20. That's what I'd like to see, but I'd like him to do that efficiently and effectively. Defensively, he has been fantastic this year. I mean, he has really picked it up and elevated his defense, which is huge, right? The Lakers need him, and he has the tools to be a great defensive player. He's not Jared Vanderbilt defensively, but we just need him to be good and serviceable enough. Disrupt passing lanes, stay in front of your assignment, right? Have active hands. Use that long 6'10" wingspan. And he's done that thus far this season. He's getting shots. He's taking on the challenge. He's working hard, fighting over screens. Those are the things that you love to see. And the beauty is, not only is he giving you 19 points a game, he's also giving you 7 assists a game. And even the games in which he struggled to shoot the basketball, he still was giving you great assist numbers, right? So, when you break it down, he's giving you basically, a poor shooting night gave you 8 assists. Poor shooting night gave you 9 assists, right? Like, those are what you need to see from him, right? The first game which he gave you 11 points, he still gave you 7 assists. Then he had that other struggle game where he gave you 14 points, 5 assists. Then he had 15 points, 9 assists. And then these two outputs, the big explosive outputs, 28 points, 8 assists. The assist total didn't drop, which you love to see. 27 points, 6 assists. And I've talked about this all offseason, right? D'Lo so far this season has shown he's the third guy, right? Maybe Austin Reeves explodes, but even then, I just think D'Lo, with his ability to play make, right? His ability to just hit shots and be effective in a multitude of ways, and just his experience in that role, and he just looks more comfortable at times. I think D'Lo is going to be the third option for the Lakers this year. Austin Reeves, I'd still like to see maybe get around 15 points per game in that ballpark. That would be nice. But D'Lo stepping up and going from 17 points last season to like 19, 20 this season, I think would be really huge. And if he can get back to the efficiency that we've seen the last few games, I'm not expecting him to shoot, 70% from the field or anything like that. But, if he can be around 50% from the field, which he has been, the last few years, then that is something that I think now you'll start to see, him consistently night in and night out giving you around, 17 to 20 points per game. And then the nights where, LeBron takes a break or AD takes a break, those are the games that I'd like to see him really step up and be that 25 to 30 point a game guy in those games, because now you need that extra production. But D'Lo, to me, thus far what we've seen, which again is only 4 games, I just think he has been head and shoulders the definitive third option. I also feel like the Lakers are running him and operating him as he's the third guy behind LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You're seeing him get more opportunity, him being on the ball more, him getting the playing time, all of that stuff. So I don't think that shifts. I don't think that changes, right? And I'm sure that was part of the discussion when, he re-signed, right? Like, I don't want to be this 4th, 5th, 6th option, right? With my ability to score, shoot the basketball, be efficient at all 3 levels, as well as still provide you some great playmaking and give you, 6 to 8 assists a game, I need to be in a bigger, more prominent role. And I think that the Lakers have obliged. Again, I don't know that for certain. I'm just going off of what it appears like. The Lakers are making a conscious effort to have D'Lo be the third option. He has the ball in his hands a lot. He's playing, yes, off the ball at times, and he's been really good playing off the ball for the Lakers, but also he's kind of been the guy that has been on the ball more, even in the time where Reeves has kind of been operated a little different than he has been last year. So I just think that they're making a conscious effort to make D'Lo that definitive, you're that third guy behind LeBron and AD. And I'm totally okay with that. But he has to step up, right? Also, we need to see him, or I want to see him, continue to make these strides, continue to make these growths, getting into the playoffs. Assuming that he's here come playoff time. But I think he will be, unless something that just makes sense happens, right? Because Rob Pelinka, he's shown that if there's a deal that makes sense, he's going to take it. If there's a deal that benefits the Lakers, he's going to take it. But unless something like that just pops up, D'Lo will be with the Lakers into the playoffs. And there are the playoff concerns, right? Can he show up? Is he going to disappear in the playoffs? Is he going to be able to be that third guy consistently on a nightly basis once we hit that playoff stride, right? And I want to see him continue to build confidence, have that defined role, have that understanding, okay, this is what is asked of me, because that's important too. Last year when we got D'Lo, at times it kind of felt like there was no definitive role. And D'Lo even kind of expressed that on, the Patrick Beverley podcast. He kind of expressed like, I don't know what they want my role to be. I go and, have the best shooting year of my life. It wasn't good enough. I want you to play off the ball. Okay, fine. I do that. I want you to play on the ball. Okay, I'll do that, right? And it's like, what do you want from me? Like, where do you want me to be? How do you want me to operate on this team? And I do agree, right? Just based on what we saw. And it's hard for guys to be consistent and play a specific role when they don't know what that role is. Now, in the defense of that, got to keep in mind that D'Lo only played like 8 games with the Lakers going into the playoffs, so it was just this like brand new team thrown together. Where now I think you're starting to see that clear role for D'Lo. And it'll be interesting to see if Austin Reeves really is back, if D'Lo kind of ends up taking a sidestep, which, look, one of the things that has been heavily talked about amongst the players on the Lakers is D'Lo's positivity and D'Lo wanting everyone to succeed. How D'Lo is constantly in players' ears, like, shoot that. Like Austin Reeves even credited D'Lo. How, like, every day he's in my ear, like, dude, don't forget, you're a great basketball player or whatever it is. I'm paraphrasing, right? Like, and that's good, right? He's showing those qualities of being that leader for this team, or another leader for this team in many ways. And I even said after the Orlando game, hopefully this is the game that D'Lo found his groove and he now gets back to being the D'Angelo Russell we know he can be. Again, I don't expect him to go and give you 27 to 28 points a game. Now, if he can, and he can do it within the flow of everything, then fine, that's great, right? Like, I'm not going to complain about D'Lo scoring, 25 to 30 a game, right? Absolutely, hats off to you. But I think realistically, he's probably in that 17 to 20 point per game type of role, which is fine. That's all we need, right? If you got D'Lo giving us, say, let's call it 17. Got him giving you 17. LeBron's going to give you his 25. AD is going to give you, his 26. You have Austin Reeves giving you, like, say, 15. Rui gives you another, like, 12 to 15. You have, Prince on any given night giving you, let's call it 10 points, right? And everyone starts chipping in their little 10 to 12 points on any given night. You're going to be one of the better offenses in the entire league, maybe even the best offense in the league. And then we just got to lock down defensively. But I really love what we're seeing from D'Lo, and I really do think he deserves some praise. I definitely think he deserves some love for what he's been able to put together, and in these last 2 games especially. We've needed him badly these 2 games, and he's delivered, and we won. And so I need him to continue to be consistent, though. Like, I don't want to see this 27, 28 point game, or 28, 27 point game, and then the next game he gives you 11 on like 5 of 12 shooting, or 5 of 15 shooting, or something like that, right? And it's like, he's 30% from the field. No, like, I need him to be efficient, pick and choose your spots. I do feel like at times he kind of forces the issue shooting, and I know when he's on, he hits a lot of those shots, but I'd like to see him take, more calculated attempts, right? Like, he's best when he's getting to his spots and letting it fly. And we've seen him the last few games kind of get to his spots and letting them fly. And more times than not, the shots that he misses are the ones that he just tried to make something out of nothing, or, falling away for no reason or just trying to get a little too crafty with it rather than just like, hey, square your shoulders, step up, hit the shot, right? So I hope that we can continue to see him just develop and perform the way we've seen. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel about D'Lo? Do you like what you've seen from D'Lo so far? Do you expect him to continue this? Do you think he ends up getting traded? Do you think he not? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on bell notifications, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you.